What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of Speak the Fuck Up. So you know what time it is. It's naturally time to speak the fuck up. I am Joe. Sitting across from me, you got Griff. And then sitting next to Griff, we got Pete here. You know what time it is. It's time for us to get into it. What y'all got for me today? How y'all doing?
Hold up. Before we get started, I got a bone to pick with you, Joe.
Oh, okay, let's go.
How late was you?
Okay, so when I scheduled the time, I said 5 o'clock, but I put CPT on the end of that.
So this guy has me and Griff rushing from work. Griff is over here rushing through his online virtual training client. And then next thing you know, I get a phone call from Joe. Hey Pete, I'm about 10 minutes late.
Oh,
all right,
man.
I'm like, okay, that's cool. Do your thing. You know, I don't want you to rush because safety first.
Safety first.
So I text Griff. I said, hey, take your time with your client. I don't want you to rush through your session because quality.
Right.
Yeah. Joe's running a little behind anyway, so you know we're good.
Yeah. I'm sitting there stuck in my car, right outside, bro.
10 minutes. I'm
Camera,
over here like
phone in my face, doing a session.
We on Asian time?
But no. See, we on CPT. See, look, I appreciate it. And even though y'all, I was 10 minutes behind, I was still hitting like, speed limits I shouldn't touch to get over here. And then, like I said, I got around to that curve on 635, and it was just like, I was like, oh, shit. And, you're trying to rush, trying to get there. This is the time we set aside for each other. And just, shit happens, shit that you can't control.
It really does. It really does. That's cool. I just want to give you a hard time.
No, it's all good.
But hold on. Let me fix my headphones, man. I'm over here trying to be like a DJ and stuff like, but we're sitting in a studio recording.
Where's my snare?
Yeah, my headphones will be falling off.
The millennials will cut you a break on that.
How them young cats wear these headphones.
Yeah, he said that earlier.
I did.
Don't act like you didn't say it.
I did.
Worried about the hoodie, the headphones.
For those that don't know the reference, I was like, hey, how them young cats wear the hoodies these days, and now over here like, how the cool kids wear the headphones.
You look pretty cool. You
I
doing all right.
I see some folks at the gym wear, like this, and I'm like, I get it. The hat holds the headphones up, I guess.
But are they like bench pressing or something?
They're just playing on their phones.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh,
what gym do you go
They ain't
to?
doing no real work.
I don't know. That's a whole different conversation.
Anyway,
Anyway,
How you gentlemen doing? How's your day been? How's your week going so far?
man, I've been freaking busy, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, training back to back to back.
Yeah.
But I like it that way. I like being busy.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like the hustle and bustle of life. Because if I sit still, then stupid stuff happens.
Stupid stuff like...
that saying, was it idle hands?
the idle hands.
Yeah, idle hands, idle minds, stuff like that.
Okay.
Is it idle
Start
hands
doing
or idle
things
time?
without thinking.
I don't know, but I can relate to that because when I get to sit and like during COVID and you just wake
Start
up
thinking
drinking
of
before
dumb
you
shit.
even eat the piece of bread. Yeah, I know about idle time.
Like it's 6:30 in the morning.
Well, shit, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm gonna be here all day. Trump dropped that check off. I can order DoorDash. I'm straight.
I'm gonna pop some of these edibles and get drunk.
Yeah.
And lay it out.
Like what time is? You know what time is? Time is an illusion, anyway. So
end up running
I'm
around
good.
outside in a shower.
Unless you're
cap.
10 minutes late, then it's not an illusion.
Throw that jack.
How you doing? You just as busy? How's the new job going?
And man, I love it. I'm loving the hospital life, but I'm used to that 3 on, 4 off kind of thing. Where you kind of split up the week, and right now I have every day.
You're there 7 days a week?
Right, 5.
5?
Yeah.
When does it break up for you? Like the 3 and 4?
Probably next week. It'll
Next
probably
week?
start next week where I just break up to regular schedule.
Yeah. Other than that, everything running straight?
Yeah, hopefully.
Man.
We'll see how it is.
I'm glad.
COVID.
I had a case of the break-ins. You had a case of the break-ins last time. Somebody broke in, stole my gun. My gun.
The universe, man.
But my gun?
Yeah, I've been there, bro.
And my bullets.
Yeah.
But they didn't take the rest of the clips in the car. Why do I have so much ammo in the car?
But we were just talking about that. We're like, who cares if your car wasn't locked?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's not yours. Like, why?
Like, don't fuck with it.
But
It's
even
not
where it's
your
at,
shit.
there's cameras there, but like I just don't get it. And that was early in the morning for that to happen. I came back to my car, the center console was up, and I looked at it confusingly. I was like, oh, no, I don't remember doing that. And I closed it, and then I get to driving, and I'm thinking, and I look back in there, and I'm like, oh, no, where's my gun? And then my box of bullets is gone, and then
So did you call the police for a report?
Yeah, I filed that.
Because that's the first thing you want to do. When
Yeah, because I don't want nothing to happen
come back
to
at
it.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Man, that's crazy. That's just kind of like sums up 2020.
yeah,
Kind of. I mean, I know the year isn't over, but I think we can all.
we're 8 months
I think we
in.
can all come to an agreement that this year has been Quite the fuckery.
So Peter, you make sure you lock your shit and like park somewhere where you can see it.
I don't know, man. People if they want to break in, they'll just break in.
Damn it.
You
Because
know?
it just, I mean, it happened to me first.
Yeah.
Then it was Joe. Next week.
I would hope not.
Yeah. Hey, man.
If it does, dude, I'm leaving Earth.
That's
That's
thing.
freaking crazy.
That's just another thing, like you were saying in 2020. That's shit that we can't control.
Can't control.
It's freaking weird, man.
I mean, I think really, if we just had to sum it up, it's like, you know what? Let's rewind. Like, how has your entire year's plan gone? Like goal wise, you know, like just planning. Like, you know what? This is what I wanted to lay out for this year, the year of the 2020 vision, the year of the vision, whatever. And it's like, if it's not this, it's the next, and it's the next, and it's the next. And it's like you're waiting to see what happens in August. And then next thing you know, you see Lebanon.
Thoughts and prayers to them as well.
Oh, yeah,
That was
definitely. You know,
a very unfortunate event.
And whether it's because of an accident or an attack, I mean, either way, it's people hurt, people killed, a country, you know, in essence, in a scramble to do what they need to in order to protect their people or take care of their people. And, you know, so yeah, I mean, how has your year been?
I mean, plans have changed drastically, of course, but just looking at it hindsight, man, it's like the shit that I've dealt with is nothing compared to something like that in Lebanon. You know what I mean? We've been through it before in the U.S., of course, with 9/11 attacks and stuff like that, so we can kind of relate. It's like nobody planned to go to work that morning and the building get blown up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I didn't plan for my car to get broken into, but that's nothing in comparison to losing your life.
Right.
Or on the other side of that, losing a loved one.
Yeah.
Bye, Dad. See you when you get home. That's that fucking hits deep, man.
But see, that even goes back to what's going on in the whole world right now with this whole COVID thing. Like, you know, being in the hospital, patients are by themselves. Like no visitors.
Yeah.
Because of protocol.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I was in the NICU before the beginning of the year, it's like every baby gets one parent. And if the other parent wants to come and visit, they're rotating with each other,
right.
You know? But now now being in neuro and over here in the ICU, patients are visiting each other via FaceTime with the iPad that the hospital has, you know? And so for the patients that are like escalating, their conditions aren't, or their prognosis isn't very promising, they are literally dying
by themselves
alone.
That's terrible.
That's sad.
Unless the nurse is there to hold their hand, you know, which is sad as well. You know, it's like, you got to understand, like, that goes into the whole mental aspect of it, right? You know, got to protect your chickens.
Yeah, it's just not adding up. See, I live on the other side of 2020 because shit's been fucking amazing. like for real. Like, okay, so you know, I was
through you, Joe.
Yeah. Shit's been amazing.
Like
I mean,
Arlington, you know?
minus the couple of you know, the thing that happened yesterday and a couple other little things. I didn't look as 2020, and I still don't look as 2020 as like lost time. And I feel like we get caught up on that concept, and we'll make it such a comfortable thought that, hey, this doesn't count. Just waste your time and do whatever. As you know, like before I came and met you guys, I was working somewhere else. I quit my job to pursue media, to go after what I wanted to do. So for me, 2020 has just been a year where things kind of like started lining up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, with the shutdown and everything like that, but it was unfortunate for financial standing. But as far as time and being able to put it into something that you love, something that you care about, you don't get that time often to go after you, to pursue your passions, to work on your passions. So to be able to have this time right now, to me, it's been amazing. So I don't write 2020 off. Like we still got 4 months. You can change your life in 16 weeks, you know?
But we had that conversation before where it's like really the only thing that you can plan on is for your plans to change. Yeah. Ultimately. And you can view, and you know, like you said, you can view it however you want. You can write off 2020 if you want to. However, 8 months have gone by. It's been really shitty for a lot of people. But at the same time, if you flip the script, it's been a blessing in disguise for others as well. You know, for those that don't get the time to spend with their family, for those that are constantly traveling or working, this has been an opportunity for them to stay home with their children, you know, and kids that are staying home and doing homeschool or whatnot. Again, it's just time, you know, so we can always flip the script and view it both ways, but really ultimately the only plan you can really plan on is for your plans to change. But that comes down to how adaptable
you are in situations.
Do you
Yeah.
just sit and shit, or do you get up and move the shit out of the way?
Yeah. And it goes down to just saying, the survival of the fittest isn't necessarily brute strength.
No.
Physicality wise, it's really adaptations.
I feel like we've all been that way. So I think as you go through life and as you progress through, through your aging stages, you go through periods of life where stuff doesn't go as planned and you just quit it.
Yeah.
And then you realize from that, those experiences that, well, if I progress with it, I'll still be able to attain it, as opposed to when, like, in my younger years personally, with things, I would just stop it. I would just stop it right away. If things didn't go the right way, if they didn't pan out how I wanted them to pan out, I just counted it up as a lost plan.
But it's so funny because growing up, I mean, we're surrounded by kids, but growing up as children, we were taught to continue to pursue or go after it is whatever we want to do or who we want to be, right? I mean, use the whole analogy of crawling before you walk. If we allowed a kid to give up as they try to learn how to walk, they're gonna be crawling for the rest of their life.
Yeah. Right.
But we continue to push them and giving them assistance where assistance is needed until they're on their own. So if you think about adults, we're just big kids. Yeah. We really are.
Yeah, we're constantly trying to figure out shit.
We do stupid shit when we're bored. Yeah. Just like kids do. And so at what point do we forget to actually continue being persistent and consistent in the pursuit of happiness or whatever it is that we want, right? Yeah. Like at what point did we learn that particular concept of
giving up?
Yeah. And then staying given up.
So what I would say and how I think about it is it's taught to us subliminally throughout our entire lives as well, because we see our parents working and they instill in us hard work. Oh, you got to pay your bills first. I think that comes up as a thing. So when you start to attain bills and debt and incur debt, and you have to start paying people things monthly, you have to do whatever you have to do to get those things taken care of. So what dreams and goals and ambitions that you have, you kind of let die by the wayside. Yeah. And you hear it often, well, I had bigger responsibilities. I had to step up to be the man of the house. I had to, my father died, my mother died. I had to take care of things like that. And barring those situations, you did what you had to do. And it may be selfish of me to think like this. I feel like you don't have to give up on yourself. Yeah. You just have to, time. Yeah. You got to find that time. If it's 10, 15 minutes a day to go after what you want, use that 10 to 15 minutes a day to go after what you want. But I feel like that's taught to us because we incur responsibilities, and then we ultimately are like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stop going after what I want to be able to take care of this over here. So
to add on to what Joe was saying about responsibilities and going after something, I think a lot of it, or some of it, actually a lot of it, has to do with the society and the system that we're put in. Grade school, junior high, high school, college, it's like, okay, you have to follow this particular path. This is the timeline that you need to do it in. Yeah. You need to be married by this age. You have to have your career figured out by this age. You need to graduate by this certain age or whatnot. Otherwise, you would have quote unquote failed. Right. The system, right? Fuck the system. Yeah. Ultimately, and it's like the common conversation. I can't even talk today. Common conversation that I've been having with some of my younger cousins and or cousins, friends, and whatnot is the whole. Man, 2020 has been so shitty. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know how to figure it out. I spent the last semester of college virtually. And that's something that, with my nursing colleagues that are now new into the whole role, and they didn't really get a chance to finish their last semester of nursing school where they transitioned into nursing. They're like, man, I don't even know the whole difficult aspect of it. But other conversations that come up, it's like, well, I don't know what my purpose is or what I'm even supposed to be doing. Like, I'm trying to figure shit out. Right. Man, did you have your stuff figured out in your 20s?
Well, since I'm in my last year, he's
still in his 20s.
I don't even think I have a plan figured out for right now. I think that's the beautiful thing about us as human beings and as individuals. Like I said, we change every day. Yeah. So I didn't have shit figured out. I went through jobs. I had failed plans. I went home, stayed home longer than I wanted to be home. Yeah. Like I had a marriage fail. Yeah. Things don't go to plan. And this is a guy who at 7 years old knew he wanted kids. I was like, okay, I'm going to graduate. I started school early. I was like, I'm going to graduate high school when I'm 17. That's college at 21. Hell no, none of that shit.
Yeah, like a whole system laid out in front of you, right? Like
I had it all laid out because they give you this in years. Oh, well, you got so many years left here, years left here, years left here. And I tried to live my life by those rules, and it doesn't work out like that all the time.
Like, would you say you had your shit figured out in your 20s?
I thought I did, because at 20 years old, I went to the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna be in the Marine Corps till I'm 55,
Structured.
60 years old. I thought I had that structure.
Right.
But then when I was 30, the year I turned 30, I was out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So my entire 20s, I was wearing a uniform, following black and white, the rules.
Being
whatever.
told what to do.
Right.
And just going
And even
along
when I
with
had
it.
responsibility to tell somebody else what to do,
Yeah.
I was still being told what to do from
Right.
somebody else.
From your superiors.
Right? So I had structure for 10 years.
Yeah.
So coming out, it was like I started all over again, graduated from high school, right? So I'm 30 years old,
Trying
looking
to
at the
figure
world
it
like
out.
an 18-year-old.
Right.
Right.
And what it boiled down to, especially now, I've come to the realization that you don't only have 24 hours in a day.
Right.
You can change that. It doesn't have to be 24 hours. You got to figure out a way to make 24 hours 30 hours.
That's that whole illusion
Sometimes
again.
you may just
you know?
sacrifice sleep. You may have to sacrifice relationships.
Right.
You're gonna have to go through some shit to get to the other side of it. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of like, damn it, I got to do this. I'm sorry, but I got to do this.
Right.
You know, it takes a lot of that. You may let some people down, but at the end of the day, when you're asleep, are they the ones affected by how your day went? You know, whether it's good or bad.
When you made
You're
that,
the one that's got to live with that.
when you made that transition, would you say being in the military helped you be more disciplined coming into the world as a 30-year-old from right there?
Yes, but it has a downside because you're looking for structure in everything, everything.
Because that's what you were taught for
Because that's what I was
the longest time.
So that's what I was used to for 10 years.
Right.
And then at the position that I was at, I was kind of at the top of the totem pole where I was at. I had a pretty good reputation. It was a very good reputation. So coming out of that, I'm at the bottom
Right.
of the food chain.
Starting over.
And in the back of my mind, I'm like, you motherfuckers that have no idea who the fuck I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
how would they know?
But they don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
You know, so my struggle was having to get over myself
Right.
in order for me to move forward,
Checking that ego.
right? Because I just kept falling backwards because I'm looking in the past trying to make things happen. It's like, it don't work like that.
Yeah.
So it's still a struggle to this day. I mean, I'm not perfect. I still have my issues. Sometimes I have to, Griff, you're not Sergeant Griffin. You're Darrence Griffin. You're Griff. Chill out. Relax.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're not in the military.
Civilian now.
You're a civilian.
Right.
Just chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Titles
I have
don't
my
mean
moments,
shit out
man.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so it helped me in so many ways, especially with discipline. But being so structured, it's easy to get caught up in you motherfuckers have no discipline.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
no structure. Where's your recommendation? Where's your manual? Where's this? Where's that? Like sometimes you just gotta fly off the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
You know, freestyle. And that's what I was about before I went to the Marine Corps. I was a freestyle. I was
Yeah.
a rapper.
You kind of
You
just.
know what I mean? So
That's right. He
Damn,
does. That's
what?
right. If you
Like,
check his page, if y'all go and check his page and scroll down,
every now and then I may get
you'll
frisky.
see some of the stuff that Griff put out.
You got any stuff recorded? Like,
Or is it in the
but I don't know
clouds?
if you'll be able to
Like-
find it. It'll take some digging to find it, but
what?
it's
But
out
it means it can be found.
Yeah, it can. It definitely can.
Yeah.
because it's crazy. I started off first, so like it was gospel rap first.
Yeah.
And then I fell off of that and just started doing battle rap.
Yeah.
And then from battle rap, I went to just regular, like whatever you want to call it. What you call it? Secular
Right.
rap or whatever. And then while I was in the Marine Corps, me and a few buddies or whatever, we would rap every now and then too.
What?
And I made beats and all that
Freestyle.
stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
We're gonna
have to
have
look
it.
for that.
You know what? We're gonna do
Good luck.
segments. We're gonna do segments down the line where you get to know each one of us
Yeah.
a little more in depth or whatever, you know. But it kind of bring it back to the topic. Like for me, I didn't have shit figured out in my 20s. I'm just now, honestly, to be able to look y'all in the eye and tell you, it's like I'm just now starting to actually get stuff, quote unquote, figured out, right?
Or whatever that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
and
it means
and
for you.
I turned 38
Yeah.
this year. Right. See, and that goes down, and we'll talk about that here in just a second because I really want to touch on it, like success and what does success look like to each and every individual.
Right.
I didn't have sugar. I thought I had stuff figured out in my 20s. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but
you
but it was more so what my parents wanted me to do.
That's what I was just about to ask. Was there more pressure on you? Because I feel like the stereotype among
Of
the Asian men,
Asians? Yeah.
is like your plan is set for you.
Right.
Like we
the
already
moment you were
said.
born, it's like this is what you're gonna
doing.
do. This is what
Yeah.
you're gonna graduate by. This is what you're gonna major in,
and this is gonna give you your happy life.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How do you deal with
That's
that
the whole
culturally?
structure. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And so And I feel like it's a lot more predominant now in a lot of culture too, and not just the Asian culture. But I can speak. I can only speak upon the Vietnamese culture as far as that goes, and I'm sure a lot of our Vietnamese, or if there are Vietnamese listeners out there, they can attest to this. It's, again, the only thing I can say to my younger cousins, even when I had this conversation before, and I can say this now because I've given myself the chance to reflect on it as to why that was the case. And if y'all have heard the previous episodes and what I alluded to as far as like my parents fleeing the country because of the war or whatnot, and my mom being a refugee, they coming over here with nothing, literally, and then to literally like start from ground up, like starting from the bottom with nothing to where they are now, to be able to put my sister and I through school. So they have that survival mentality. It's like, this is the opportunity that was given to us by this country. So if you're not taking advantage of it, then that's just a waste. Like, what's the point of our sacrifices, right? So growing up, medicine was pretty much shoved down my throat. Just medicine. You were going to be a doctor, regardless. My elementary paper in 5th grade was about the heart.
Wow.
I hate the heart at this point, man. Like, I hate the heart to this point. Like, if anyone knows me or talks to me, I'll tell you that cardiology is my weakest point in the body. I hate it. But that's what was like pushed ever since I was little. You're going to be a cardiologist. You're going to be a cardiologist. You're going to be a heart surgeon or whatnot. Went through school biology. So the pressure of it is like, do I want to do my own thing because I know this is what I'm passionate about? But at the same time, if I do it, I'm going to disappoint my parents. Right. And that's the last thing I want to do as a child. Whether you're Asian or not, right? It's like, I don't want to disappoint my parents. They did all this for me. They sacrificed all of this for me. They tell me about their sacrifices. I see their sacrifices in history books and whatnot. Right. So who am I to say, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this.
Right. Yeah. So dealing with that as a kid at such an early age, what did you want to do? What did you want to be during that time frame?
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was the whole point of, I didn't have it figured out in my 20s. Yeah. All I know is that I did not want to pursue medicine, and here I am in medicine. Yeah, you do. But there's a story behind that. It's a full circle. Imagine a conversation of, all right, mom and dad, I'm not pursuing nursing or medicine. I went to finance, but I'm going to leave finance at this point and go become a trainer. Right.
They had already planned your whole life out for you and your career, and you're telling me that you want something else.
So my dad is like, wait, let me get this straight. I helped pay, along with your scholarships or whatever. I helped pay for your biology degree and your nursing degree. You got all these students' loan taken out. You are not pursuing medicine. You're gonna go become a personal trainer. Did I get that right?
Well, when he says it like that, that kind of makes me like, oh, well, maybe I should think about this.
Puts it all in perspective. It's like,
and even to now, you don't see that many Asian trainers. Mm-hmm. So the whole conversation with, even like to my younger Asian crowd is like, you got to understand where our parents' mentality is coming over to America with nothing. And then our mentality of being dreamers because we have all the resources laid out in front of us so we can be whatever we want to be and do whatever we want to do. Yeah. In essence. It's just communication. Right. Is really all I can say. It's like, mom and dad, this is what I want to do, and this is why I will be successful. Let me lay it out for you. It's easier said than done, but let me show you. Right. So yeah, I succeeded as a trainer. I would honestly want to think that I'm, a great trainer. And of course, client testimonies will attest to that or whatnot. But anyways, just that whole conversation of overcoming fear, because I had no idea what it's going to be like leaving medicine to go into finance. And what it's going to be like to leave finance to go into something that is an entrepreneurial position, because you are not handed a book of business. No, you have to go find your own business.
I wanted to ask y'all, so in lieu of going through, going with plans that go awry, how do you handle that? You have something planned out for yourself your entire life, and then at one split moment, it's something totally new. Like, I'll give my example. I grew up playing football my entire life. I got a scholarship out of high school, bounced around from colleges, and then came back home. But my goal since I was a young child was NFL. Like, this is what it was. Yeah. And then one day there was just no more football, and that was it. And for the longest time, I know myself personally, I couldn't watch a football game, whether it was college or if it was NFL. It was like, how do you deal with that? This was your plan. It didn't happen. It's something that you set all your eggs in one basket. How do you adjust from that? Have you ever had a moment or loved something so much where you had to adjust from that?
In the Marine Corps.
Okay.
I planned on being in for 30, 40 years as long as I could be. But when that 10-year mark came around, they wouldn't approve my re-enlistment. So I'm like, oh, snap, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. I had a wife. I had 3 kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I had to figure out in less than a week what I was going to do with my life.
So circumstances changed
Completely
just like that.
changed. Just like that.
How angry were you with could you be around? Could you watch military movies, or could you do anything like that?
The only thing at that time that I held on to as far as military-wise were the people I served with.
Right.
You know, I didn't want to hear anything about Marine. I didn't want to hear "Hoorah, Semper Fi," kiss my Semper Fi ass.
Right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the Marine Corps' fault.
Right.
It was just at the time.
But it still hurts.
It still hurts. That was my plan. That was what.
Mm-hmm.
That was my.
That was life.
Call it? Your 30-year plan or whatever people talk about. Your 5-year plan. Your 10-year plan. Whatever. That was my plan.
Yeah.
So I didn't think about anything else. Personal training was something I was doing while I was in, but I was a Marine first. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden that's gone, and then the unstable.
Right. Figuring things out.
Personal
Right.
trainer.
Right.
Like, shit, I gotta move back home. Or even we were trying to actually stay in North Carolina where I was stationed at, but it just wasn't coming together. And by accident, I ended up being a manager at a gym in Arlington here in Dallas or whatever. And you know, from there to LA Fitness, from there to Equinox, from there to just growing my business and networking and all that stuff. And you know, now F45, now doing some other things, self-made, faction play, whatever.
Right.
That took blood, sweat, and tears, man.
When did you realize, I guess, traveling through that journey and, you know, crossing over into more fitness, being 100%, when did you finally become at peace with not being in the military without that 30-year plan? When did that happen for you?
I would probably say this year.
This year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took 5 years for me to realize it's like, you know what? God flipped it on you.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Move forward.
He's a new script.
Stop crying about what you used to be, how badass you used to be, the reputation you used to have. Fucking rebuild it.
Right. And you're still that person, though.
Right.
You're just not in that just not in that arena. Right.
Right.
That's all it is. Because I still got my boys that are, you know, still here and all that stuff. So it's like, even though I'm not in, I'm still a Marine.
Yeah.
I earned that title no matter what.
Right.
So move forward.
Yeah.
It's
You're
over.
just not in
you
that.
can't change it.
You're just not in that atmosphere.
Just not in
per
that
se.
atmosphere.
Right.
So
Well, I know crossing over back into fear, like the fear moving forward, I think it takes a lot of courage to be able to move on from what you previously had, and you have to consciously make the effort to remind yourself, look, this is not happening. It doesn't mean that I'm a failure. I just have to adjust and figure out something else. And I think for a lot of people that is a hard thing to do because of what they had planned out.
It really is, because I think it all comes down to perspective or what you perceive, because perception is reality to that particular individual, right? You can have the exact same scenario, 2 different individual, and their fear could be the exact completely different from each other, but same scenario, right? And it's that perception. So ultimately, I think we have to take a step back and take a look at what is it that I am scared of or is paralyzing me.
Right, from making a move.
Right. And we can allude back to what Will Smith says, and at the end of it, if you can't get over your fears, then do it scared.
Right.
But do it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because I mean, 2 things are going to happen. You're either going to succeed at it or you're going to learn.
Right.
Regardless.
Yeah.
And if you quote unquote fail at that attempt, okay, go at it again. But at least now you would have had experience and you make adjustments, or you've had practice, go back and do it again, do it again, do it again. If that's really what you want, okay, then do it. So what if you're scared?
common theme in the Marine
I mean, I know
Corps
it's
is
easy.
adapt
I
and
know it's
overcome.
I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely
Ultimately.
easier said than
Oh,
done.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're eventually gonna have to do it.
Sometimes you ain't got a fucking choice.
Because if you think about it, fear is an emotion, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It's something you feel.
You definitely do.
Right. So you can either let it paralyze you, which a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. I mean, it goes back to that. Like I said, I'm a quotes guy. Something about, you know, more dreams are buried in the grave.
Yeah. There are more dreams are in the graveyard. Yeah.
Than fulfilled.
Yeah.
Because people never did it. Because they're for whatever reason, and a lot of it is being scared. And if you think about fear, it could be a lot of things. One, fear of failure, fear of what other people are going to think about you.
Right.
Rejection.
Yeah.
You know, the whole, like, okay, are people going to talk about me? What's my reputation going to be like?
Absolutely.
You know, do I have support? And which is a whole nother conversation.
How do you move past that point of fear? Do you just, how would you, someone who is absolutely ready to take a step, or talks about them being ready to take a step, but don't know how to let go of something that because in order to get something else, you got to give something up.
Are you right?
You know, you got to give something up. How do you talk to the person that's not able to do that yet, or is just fearful of letting that go? How do you get them to have that courage, and how do we get them to go after it?
Man, that's so hard. Just
like for me, like managing the gyms. Like I thought I wanted to manage gyms after football, got into lifting, got into bodybuilding. I really liked the corporate structure of the gym world, and I really enjoyed it. But then one day I just woke up and I was like, yo, I'm out of here. Like, I hate this. I hate coming here. I hate dealing with y'all.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate this. I'm not doing what's fulfilling for me. And so in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, I have bills. I got to pay this. I have a son. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? And then at the end of the, I'm talking to myself. It's like, man, you're going to be more disappointed when you're laying on your deathbed.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here like, well, damn, what if? I wish I had
Wish
done
I'd done
this.
this.
So
Yeah.
I typed up my 2 weeks while I was like driving to work and emailed it into them, because I know at the end of the day, the inevitable is going to happen. I'm leaving this world. I don't know when, but until I do leave, I'm going to go after what I want with every ounce that I can to attain the life that I want for myself. Yeah. So I'm happy. My pursuit of happiness. It's my pursuit of happiness.
Yeah. That's really the only thing that's guaranteed as far as the plan goes, right? Is that our time here is borrowed. Yeah. We don't even know when that's going to expire.
We see examples of that every single day.
All the time.
The most recent being the big explosion over there, like we alluded to earlier. But we see things like that, and you would think that if we grasp that concept of, hey, I have a limited amount of time here, why am I sacrificing myself for someone else? Why am I giving my all for this job that when I die, they will have my replacement? Sometimes sometimes they will write me off to an early retirement and have me train my replacement. Yeah. And then walk me out the door.
Right. I saw thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I saw an email on Facebook recently. There's a lady I'm a friend with. She said it hurt her. She worked for this company for 30 years, and they gave her the COVID walk-off. They sent her a card and a watch and said, thank you for 30 years.
Don't come in.
Thank you for 30. I just gave you like half of my whole life. Yeah. But at the end of it, she said, you know what? I'm glad this has happened because I have the rest of my life to live, and I can pursue what I really want to pursue. But you gotta think though, like why give something that you don't wholeheartedly love 30 years? Why give it 5 minutes? I mean, try it out, but why give it 5 minutes, let alone give it 30 years? And then to be on the back end of life based on expectancies and things like that, but to still have that positive mindset, have that positive outlook that I'm going to go get this. Yeah. I'm going to go get what I want. So I just, people out there, if you are in between, wanting to go after your dreams and there's something stopping you from right there, think about that. You will not get this time back. This time is not coming back. All right. We will never see today again. All right. Use your time.
And alluding to what he was saying as far as making the move, look, you don't have to make the jump and then hope a parachute opens or that you'll grow wings and fly or whatever, as far as the whole analogy goes. Dude, you can climb down the mountain and walk across. So take the small steps if you have to. Right. Make it happen. You don't have to make that big leap. No. You don't have to necessarily quit your job right away and not have anything continue and want to all of a sudden have your dream instantly, because that's not going to happen as far as this whole instant gratification goes. So take the small steps if you have to, right? Right. I mean, it goes along with, don't spend how many hours a day working on somebody else's dreams and then go home and not work on yours
at all because you're tired.
Right. Yeah.
I'm tired of working on your shit. Yeah. Now I don't want to work on my shit. I don't got
the energy to work on my
shit. Because now you're not tired. You're just uninspired.
Yeah.
At that point, if you're making up those excuses, because if you really want it,
you'll get it.
You want it.
That's a discipline thing right there. It's like going in those days where you don't feel like working out and you're like, oh shit,
gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you go and do it, and sometimes there's some of your best workouts, the
Yeah.
days that you
Yeah.
don't
The
feel like working out.
Because
Like,
it comes
That was
damn,
for me today.
I'm looking juicy in this bitch.
I'm glad I came.
Hell yeah.
That was me all day
I'm
today.
asking my girl in the gym, hey, am I looking juicy? How's my pump?
Like, what my back look like? That
You know
back
what I'm saying?
though. Yeah, that's what I'm
No
going
invisible
all day.
lat syndrome over here.
Yeah. These are actual lats.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
you
I've
know,
been saying
working
that
on
all
them,
week
working
though,
on them.
after the classes and stuff. And some of my clients is like, don't take this life for granted.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it could be taken away just like that.
Our time is borrowed, folks.
It's borrowed. It's
It's
precious.
not even guaranteed. We are not invincible.
No, not at
You
all.
don't know what's gonna happen when you walk out of these doors. You know what I mean? So it's like
Split second.
take every opportunity you have to bless other people, but also look out for yourself.
I'm
You know what I mean? Do
I'm
what
a
you got to do to make yourself happy.
I'm a big advocate of putting yourself first. And
Yeah.
sometimes that
It
can
took
get
me a
me
while
in
to
a
get
little
there,
in a little bit of like trouble with other relationships that I have with people. But it's because I've been in previous relationships, like I said, where I don't put myself 1st and then you get burned on the back end. So it's hard for me to give like advice of like helping other, like, you know,
Yeah.
when to help other people
Right.
and do things. Don't help other people if it puts you in harm's way. If it's something like, you know, when you're going to go, if it's going to put you in harm's way by helping somebody else, don't do it. Don't
Yeah.
sacrifice yourself like that. Don't put yourself out on the limb like that.
I think the misconception, though, as far as you looking out for yourself, I think people look at that as a negative thing because it's saying that you're
They do.
selfish. It's
They
not,
do.
It's not necessarily a negative or
Self-love.
selfish thing.
And that's what we've been trained to see it as, like,
Right.
oh, he's all in it for himself. Well, hell yeah, I'm all in it for myself.
And that's the thing. It's like, if I can't love myself, if I can't be 100% for myself, how am I going to give anything to anybody else?
Yeah. How can I help you?
You know what I mean? How am I going to
Yeah.
be wholeheartedly willing to help somebody else if I'm not doing that for myself?
Yeah.
If I'm not at 100%, I'm not going to give you 100%.
We have
It's
to
impossible.
change perceptions around certain things like that our society has kind of written off as like, oh, it's not the social norm.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the things that we put in our social norm hinder us as a person and in our development and how we go about thinking about things. Then we become these group thinking cog
Yeah.
machines
Yeah.
that are just driving at 5 o'clock in the morning,
Yep.
to and fro, grocery
Clocking in,
store,
clocking
back
out.
home,
Yeah.
marriage, hate the life, and you because this is what we were trained to do.
Yeah. What is it?
know?
You got to unlearn what you learned.
Yeah, yeah.
Start over,
And
in essence.
like you said, start over, keep that energy, and keep it going, or you're going to be living life with a bunch of regret.
Yeah.
And that goes back to that.
Yeah.
Like over
Tough, man.
coming with that fear. I think having fear and then not going after what you want. At the end of the day, you're gonna regret it.
But see that, so on the opposite of that, there's conversations that go around, and it's like, man, like I had a 23-year-old. So he's been working on his craft. And I checked in on him and see how he was doing, and he's like, man, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my life, Pete. And I'm like, dude, you're 23,
Young.
You're like, you're not supposed to.
No, not at all.
Like for those that are young at 21, 22, 23 that have it figured out or think they have it figured out and their path is going the way they planned it, that is awesome. That's fortunate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Continue to ride that wave. Like
Absolutely,
that's a win.
That's great.
So you won last month, continue to win. Win
Yeah.
this month, win next month, whatever. That's cool. Ride that wave. But I'm talking about for the majority that don't have it figured out at 23. You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
So stop stressing yourself out about that. You will. Now, you come along, well, how am I supposed to know? Well, here's the thing. If you don't know what your purpose is, which is it was a huge question. Well, my next question to you is, so what are you passionate about? What do you enjoy doing? And if you can't answer that, well, then maybe you want to focus on that then, because if you don't know what you like to do, then you don't really know yourself now, do you?
Right.
Right? But how do you figure out what it is you're passionate about? That's pretty much doing anything and everything. And you got to pay attention to your energy and how you feel when you're around certain people.
Yeah.
See how you feel when you're doing certain things,
Right.
because that in itself right there is going to tell you what you're passionate about. Because if you're passionate about it, you're going to want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You're going to either do research on it, continue to look it up. How can you be better? And that answers your question right there, because if that's your passion, well, then now you can make it your purpose.
Right.
Right? And if you're one of the fortunate few to make your purpose your job
Yeah.
or your profession, well, fuck, now you're doing what you love.
Yeah. Oh, Pete cooking.
Right?
Pete just cooked that
Tell me
shit.
I'm wrong. I'm going to drop this mic
Oh
if I
my
can.
God. That was. Hey, no, you're 100% correct.
Because if you don't know your purpose, figure out what your passion is. What do you like doing? If I see you in the elevator and I'm like, hey man, tell me about yourself. What do you like doing? If you can't tell me that in a 30-second elevator ride, all right, my guy, go figure that out then.
Oh,
Do anything and
man.
everything. You know, gotta pay attention to your energy though. How do you feel? Do you feel drained or exhausted around certain people after you leave?
Yeah.
Or your job, whatever, man? Look, if you think about it scientifically, if we want to talk about science now, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. That's moving. That's vibration. Where do you think the word vibe comes from? Like, come on, folks. Like, God.
Look at Pastor
Peter,
Pete.
what was in them damn ruffles you ate earlier, man? You should have saw him earlier, bro. When you got here, Peter was done, son. He was
Sleep.
fuck Joe, man. Where's Joe? Fuck, man. We're not gonna make it.
Oh shit!
And what the saying goes, if you're doing what you love, then it's not work, right?
It's
Then
not work.
fuck,
It
it's
feels
not
like
work.
fun every single damn day.
Right.
And you know, that's, oh man, that was wonderful. That was wonderful.
Prime example and actual practical right there just happened in front of us.
Yeah, I want to talk to those who listen to us that can allude to that, but also to let people know it's okay to have multiple passions.
It is.
Yeah. You can be passionate about more than one thing. I had someone tell me one time, like, you change too much. You do too many things. I'm like, what?
You like jack of all trades.
So I like a lot of things. Like, I want to try stuff out. I want to learn things. I want to go a different route. Like, that's not a fault to me. But I feel like it's put out there like, oh, they change their mind too much. They do this and they do that. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. I want people that are, in their younger 20s or in your teens. It's okay to like this thing on Wednesday and like something else on Thursday and want to try it out and see what it is that you like. That's how you end up getting there to your passion.
But that's part of growth, is it not?
Yeah.
What you liked through 5 years ago, you may or may not like now.
Yeah.
And what you like now, 5 years down the line, you may not even like anymore. But that's a whole part of figuring yourself out. And it's like, if you don't know how to love yourself. This goes back to the whole self-love or making you your priority first. Then how is the person that you want to love you supposed to love you if you don't even know how to love yourself?
Yeah.
Come on.
How do you teach them to love you?
Right.
You better talk to him.
Goes back to that 5 love languages, right? If you don't know what your love language is, how the fuck are they supposed to know?
Yeah, you got to know what your love language is too for yourself.
Yeah.
And pursuing what you want as well. Oh.
Now I'm on a roll.
Hey,
Peter's on board.
I love that. That's a good set of advice, man. We go through it. And like you said, we're conditioned, we're trained to believe that, hey, I have to have it all figured out and I have to figure it out by this age.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm talking to people that don't like have kids and they're like, well, I want to have kids by the time I'm at least 30 or like I'm off my plan. I'm like, whoa, chill out first and foremost.
How you know?
Like, yeah. Just chill out, like ride the wave, do what you have to do. And I always give them like, hey, if you don't have any children right now, that's fine. But make sure you get everything done that you want to do for yourself before you divulge that time to the child. Because you got to give that child time. That's going to cut into your time for yourself as well. That's what you have to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
They own you by the time you have children.
Yeah. But on the backside of that as well, going after and pursuing dreams, like with my son, I want him to see his dad like, okay, my dad didn't let anything stop him. He pursued what he wanted in the face of adversity.
Right.
When things weren't totally right all the entire time, he never gave up and he still found some way to be around me and come and get me and come and see me and do things like that.
It's like, how you going to teach that if you're not doing it?
Yeah.
Right.
How am I going to teach that? At times that bothers me because like I'm on the pursuit of, like, hey, I want to get this. I want to have this for my life. I want to have this for my life because I feel like if I have it for my life, it's going to make his life a whole lot better.
Yeah.
So being a dad and like planning out like my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays are set up I set those up for my Thursday, Friday, Saturdays because I'm so busy throughout the week. And I'm looking back at it and like I'll FaceTime him and I'll talk to him, but I always ask him, hey, are you happy? And if he tells me yes, then I'm good.
Yeah.
Because as a parent, you still look at it from what your downfall is.
Yeah.
And you kind of project how you feel about a situation. That's how your child is going to feel about a situation. And that's not necessarily the case, man. Your kid may be totally oblivious, like on cloud 9, while you're, that's something that I've had to deal with in the pursuit of media, being so busy. Yeah. Is checking on him, making sure he's happy because of a certain way that I feel. So that's something that goes into it as well.
See, so the whole structure and like having things figured out, to allude back to what Griff was saying, is like, what's my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan, something that companies or schools would even ask you. It's like, what do you plan on doing in the next 5 years? Or what is your 10-year plan? It's like why would we even ask that question as an institution? Because now you're forcing that individual to write down what their 5-year plans are. I mean, I get why companies do it because they want long-term employees, long-term goals or whatever. But without that explanation, it sets them up for failure because it goes either way. They're frustrated because they're not sticking to the plan that they had written out for their 5 years. Plans changed. We're going back to your plans changing, right? But now it also, in essence, makes them lazy. Because for those that have that, you know what? I have this whole thing mapped out. This is my journey for the next 5 years. All I got to do is just follow that path. I'm going to get comfortable with it. Man.
Comfortability kills a lot of dreams itself before death.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that going back into it. Yeah, it is. It is.
So now now you don't feel like you have to challenge yourself anymore because this is the path I'm going to take. I'm just going to stick to this path. Yeah, maybe obstacles might come in, you know, so often. It might change your mind and whatnot, but this is the path I'm going to take. I'm comfortable with this path. Change my mind. You know?
Comfort changes nothing about you.
Doesn't.
It changes absolutely nothing about you. We allude to that during workouts. If you comfortable, like you're not changing.
Right.
If you grabbing that little itty bitty weight and you rowing that,
throw it out the window. There's so many times I grabbed 6 pounds.
It's like, you've been here for this long. I know you can lift more than that.
Yeah.
But it's that's a mental block, I believe, though, that that we all possess every now and then in our even in I throw it back to working out.
Yeah.
Like thinking that we can't attain something and we haven't even tried it yet. You know, and sometimes when you go ahead and you try what we think we can attain, we're pretty damn good at it.
Yeah.
We're built for it. You know,
I've seen that multiple times just this week.
Yeah.
With pull-ups, box jumps.
But see,
like, you can do it. Just try it. How do you know you can't do it?
Exactly. And then they'll do it. They'll be like,
oh, holy shit.
Unlock the new level. Yeah.
Like, level up, folks. If you want to level up, you can't be comfortable.
Hell no.
$100 pay me right now.
Yeah.
I just changed your life.
But see, that's the thing
about making you try to do something that you didn't think you could do because you never tried doing it.
But that's the thing about social media too. Social media has these young 20s thinking that they've already failed in life, and it's like,
yeah. I mean, because we're so invasive, and we see, we see what
appearances.
We want people to see.
We see appearance, and you're right.
Yeah,
people are more inclined to post the highlight reel,
instead
of the failures.
I got a video way back down on my Instagram of me failing at a 315 bench press attempt from like 5 years. I left it up there. I was like, yo,
I just dropped one this week. Me failing at I think it was a 315 trying to do squat. 315s twice.
Yeah. Shit happens. Like what those people that you see that are posted up on the Instagram and have everything like that, they have struggles as well. You may not see them.
We all do.
We all do.
Anyone that says they don't is straight up lying to you.
You're an alien.
Or they're not human.
You don't belong here.
Right.
That's what we see. So I can understand being like a young 20-year-old.
Right.
And I'm looking at all these young 20-year-olds at the same age as me, and they're driving Maseratis, and they got houses out in Calabasas. Yeah. And they got all this shit. And I'm like, yo, what am I doing wrong?
Like, what did I do at 23? Shit.
Yeah. But you also got to realize too that those people do put in a type of work to attain those lifestyles.
Like, what have they sacrificed?
Yeah. I think we look at, with an immature eye and an immature mind to what goes behind it. We just see people sitting behind a camera and taking pictures, and we're like, damn, that's easy.
Yeah.
They make
it's
it
not.
easy. Hell no. They got businesses on the side. They're shipping orders by Josh. He's shipping orders by himself. He's hot in his garage. He's driving to the post office every day. You don't see everything behind. He does a good job of showing it.
And I can see, that's the thing. I can appreciate Josh for doing that, because for folks that don't know him or don't see that, they're just like, man, whatever. That's Josh. Like, Josh has mad haters.
I don't understand why. I don't understand hating on something or someone doing something beneficial for their lives
because they ain't got it. They don't have the drive to do it.
Right.
Right.
I guess.
Hey man, your biggest haters are your fans telling you they're watching.
Yeah, but I don't get it. I guess because I don't subscribe to it. It's like if either of you blew up tomorrow and had this $1 billion business that just took off, I'd be like, hell yeah. Like, yo, that's awesome. I'm showing my love because it's genuine love.
Right.
Because why would I spread negativity to someone that's doing something so positive with their life?
Changing lives,
that would come back on
changing
you.
the community. Like, he does a lot. Like, so I'm talking about, like, my mentor. Josh was my mentor.
Yeah.
When I decided to make the jump from corporate world to going into the fitness industry, I asked Josh. I'm like, hey, Josh, I know you're busy, but if I asked you to be my mentor, would you? Man, he didn't even hesitate. He's like, yeah, I want you to be successful.
Yeah.
You know? And it's one of those things where we talk about haters before, and it's like, as a hater, they may not necessarily hate you as an individual. I mean, especially if they don't know you, they shouldn't have a reason to hate on
Right.
you.
Hate what you have.
But a lot of times it could be them hating the way others love you, and they don't have that love.
Yeah.
You know, there could be a lot of reasons. They're either intimidated,
jealous,
jealous.
things like that.
They want that, whatever. And it's like, man, this is why
Go
I tell
get your own. You can have it too
You
if
can
you
do what
work
I
for
did.
it.
And
You
there's
just
plenty
gotta
of
work.
food. There's plenty of food on the
You,
table.
you gotta
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be handed to you. It wasn't handed to me. Like you gotta put the hours in.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss some nights of sleep, but you can have this too.
A lot of people can't understand that though. It's like I gotta miss sleep. Oh, I can't watch my TV show.
Yeah.
I can't eat this little piece of chicken.
I can't
eat
binge
from
watch
KFC.
Netflix.
But that goes into, all right, you want these things and you ask for them. Now, like you stated it, like the blessings that come with the things, but are you prepared for the work?
Yes.
For the work that
What are
you
you
want?
willing to sacrifice?
What are you willing to sacrifice? You got to
That's
put
what it
in,
boils
are you
down
willing?
to.
You say you want this. Do you know how much work that is?
Yeah.
Are you ready for that work?
It's sacrifice, man.
You know, you complaining about being at an office for 8 or 9 hours a day. You got to do this one 16, 17 hours a day to get to where you say you want to be.
It's like you want these blessings. You ask for these blessings, but what have you done? Like, are you even prepared for it?
Yeah.
Let's say it falls into your lap the very following day.
Yeah.
You were just
Now
blessed
what?
with it.
You would lose it so quick.
What you gonna do?
Now what?
You would lose it so
Yeah,
fast. 'Cause
you're not
you've never
prepared. You never prepared yourself for it.
Not at all. You wouldn't know how to handle it.
Yeah. Anything earned, I can guarantee you this. Anything earned is gonna feel so much more gratifying than anything that's given to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Earn it, folks. Earn it. Don't just ask for it. Like, you'll appreciate it more. And it's talking about the journey, right? I mean, whatever you do, whether you're an athlete, bodybuilder, going after your own business, entrepreneur, if you've had any of those conversations, for those that have actually had taken the opportunity to sit down and think about their particular journey, they were probably, for the most part, if not all, will tell you that the accolades at the end of it, which is a result of their hard work and consistency, but what they can appreciate most was the journey of getting from point A to point B, because that's where they learned most about themselves. The things that they had to go through, the blood, sweat, and tears that you said, that's what they go back and they appreciate, because it's the beauty in the struggle, right? There's beauty in the struggle. And so it's one of those things where the whole process of becoming is what we end up falling in love with, and not just the accolades.
Right.
At the end of it.
So can I take a moment to piggyback off of that?
Yeah.
I need to do this. I got to shout out to 2 of my clients, right?
Yeah, by all
We're
means.
talking about the journey and appreciating the struggle. Lindsay and Peter, right?
Oh, me?
All of my clients, not
I'm just kidding.
all of my clients are badasses, right? But these 2 especially, right? They told me, so Lindsay told me yesterday or last week that she lost 20 pounds.
Oh, nice.
Right?
That's
Just
not easy.
to prepare for her wedding. You know, she was going to use me to train her for a couple months, whatever. She lost 20 pounds, right? The struggle's crazy. COVID hit, so we're doing nothing but virtual.
Mhm.
No equipment, just body weight, whatever. In a little space in her living room, lost 20 pounds,
Yeah.
right? Peter, getting ready for his wedding, lost 20. Now, it's funny because when I was shown the before and after, I was like, wait a minute. You didn't look like that when we started, did you? He was like, yeah, I did. He looked almost the same as he did now
Right.
to me, right? But seeing the comparison side by side, I'm like, damn, Peter, you lost 20 pounds, man. I was like, dang, I helped you do that? It's like, that's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want to shout them out because we talked about the struggle and earning it,
Yeah.
fucking going after what you wanted. They did that. And now that they got it, they're still going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That like they could easily stop. Oh, okay, I got it. I'm good. I reached what I wanted to reach. Thanks, Griff. Bye. You know,
But see-
good luck with everything. But they're like, hey, when's the next? When can I get the next one? When can when
And I can
do now?
appreciate you
So it's
telling
like-
that story. Was it Lindsay and Peter?
Lindsay and Peter.
Lindsay and Peter.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I don't know if they're going to end up watching this episode. I hope they do. But that's awesome. But see, that's the thing about it. The whole journey and the process of that as well is that to be brave with our life so that others can be brave with theirs.
Yeah.
So it's like you'll hear me say often, and like, do not be afraid to tell your story.
Yeah.
That's the whole aspect of getting over your fears as well, a small aspect of it. And here's the reason why, because when you tell your story, it forces you to reflect on your journey in the first place in order to tell your story. And you will never know what your story can do for the next individual that's able to relate to it.
Right.
Right? What's the saying goes? Like, tell your story, you end up being someone else's survival guide.
Yeah.
Oh,
Either
wow.
today, tomorrow, 10 years down the
Yeah.
line. You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the whole service aspect of it. It's not just it's not just about us. Our story, our journey isn't just about us.
Yep.
It's about those that are around us, those that end up reading about our stories or whatnot, because it's impactful.
Yeah.
Every single one of us has a particular purpose. And it goes back to figuring that out.
I know you touched on quotes. I think Josh had posted something that said your greatness isn't reflected on how far you get, it's how far you get others, or how far how do you motivate other people to attain their greatness. That's what your greatness is measured off of. So that right there, what you just said, reminded me of that. Absolutely.
And
Well,
Clara,
guys.
Clara too, you're a badass too. So.
Well, guys, hey, that's episode 3.
Yeah.
We did it.
Speak the fuck up. We're
Man,
here.
that went fast. Wait. Dang, time flies.
Yeah. No, hey, we appreciate you guys. I know you guys are listening over on YouTube, watching on YouTube. We thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. It brings us great joy every single week to bring this to you. Week number 3, show number 3. So, I mean, I'm happy. Things are going good. I'm glad to be able to be here with you two guys.
Likewise, I look forward to this.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single week. Single week. I'm getting ready for that. I'm a little, I had those errands to run, so I didn't really get to pick out an outfit today. I was like, damn, what am I going to wear?
His GQ hat, his dad hat.
Hey, I got to let them know I'm a proud subscriber. Yeah, I read GQ. That's right, baby.
And folks, if you get a chance to, it's not all about just y'all liking the post or sharing it or not, or leave comments. If you have questions about something, or if there's something you want to chime in about, please do so. And of course, we always appreciate the share or the likes or whatever. But I'm gonna challenge you on something. Don't just share it just to share it. We appreciate the love, but I want you to take it a step further. And if you do get a chance to watch the entire the episode for its entirety, may perhaps send it to 1 or 2 individuals that you feel can relate to this.
That's good, Peter.
Or can grow from this.
Right.
Or may just need to get their mind right.
Right.
Because they're going through a hard time, because 2020 has been quite the year. And it's not even over yet. So yeah, everything you do, we do appreciate. I mean, like I said, it doesn't go without notice. And we see it.
We love it.
We love it.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Like, the support from y'all gives us energy.
Yeah.
Gives us energy.
We
feed
really
off
do.
of y'all.
Yeah, we do. And again, if you have any ideas about anything, or if there's anything you want to hear men talk about, or maybe just us 3 to touch on it, let us know.
If you want to be a guest on the show,
that too.
reach out to Peter.
Or anyone of us.
Don't talk to me.
Any one of us.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah, they got to talk to you.
Yeah, man.
Them two. I don't want to deal with that.
All right, guys. Well, until it's time to speak the fuck up.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember, be brave with your life.